It has been 2 years since the March 2023 death of the Queen of Rock and Roll, Tina Turner. 37 years before her passing, William Morrow and Company published her autobiography, I, Tina, which expounded upon the groundbreaking 1981 revelation that Ike Turner was physically abusive during their 16-year marriage. 6 years later, Kate Lanier adapted the New York Times bestseller into a screenplay entitled What's Love Got to Do with It? In December of 1992, production on the film began with Brian Gibson, who directed the Josephine Baker story, directing, and Angela Bassett starring as Tina, and Lawrence Fishburne as Ike.
She wanted love.
I'm trying to help.
He wanted control.
It'd go on to gross $40 million in the United States alone, despite both Ike and Tina's disapproval of its historical accuracy. Although the film features strong performances from both of its leads and sheds light on the dangers of abusive relationships, What's Love Got to Do with It is so riddled with factual inaccuracies that it should have been titled What's Fact Got to Do with It? In this installment of On the Legacy, I will discuss the real-life story of Ike and Tina, as well as the one presented in Brian Gibson's 1993 biopic, while also laying out the long-lasting effects the film has had on the legacies of both Ike and Tina.
Things and stuff and stuff and things and stuff. Freeze me!
What's Love Got to Do with It begins with the song This Little Light of Mine, sung by a chorus, which included Anna Mae Bullock, or Tina Turner. She is told to stop singing the song with so many jazz or R&B inflections, and she continued doing so. Therefore, she was put out of the church. Anna Mae walks home to an explosive disagreement, and we soon realize her mother left her to live with her grandmother. We then fade to an older Anna Mae seated on a bus. Her grandmother had passed, and she was now in St. Louis with her mother and sister. She and her sister and mother have dinner, and she goes to a club with her sister, who is a bartender. At the club, Ike Turner was performing, passing around the microphone to young ladies to sing a portion of the song. Tina does not get chosen. The next time she goes to the club, she is smartly dressed in white with the intent to get the mic. She does get the mic and wows her sister and Ike. They go out to dinner where he proposes she be his new female singer. In the next scene, he shows up to her mother's home and asks for her permission for Tina to sing with him. After bribing her with cash, she allows it. In the next scene, she is in a recording studio and Ike is pushing her to, well, sound like a man. Ike formed a band, as well as a trio of female singers to sing and perform with Tina, and they became a staple across St. Louis. While staying with Ike, his ex and baby mother, Lorraine, points a weapon at Tina and then proceeds to lock herself in a bathroom and use it on herself. They record A Fool in Love, which became a hit, and Tina was eventually pregnant with Ike's child. She gives birth to his child, and while in the hospital, discovers her stage name was Tina. She is snuck out of the hospital, and they go to Tijuana to elope. The Ike and Tina Turner Revue became a full-blown national success, and they relocated to Los Angeles. Amid the move, Lorraine reappears with Ike's two sons, handing them over to him and Tina. Tina and Ike were at home when she makes a remark about his music, which leads to an extremely brutal altercation in front of their children. She performed on a teen rock show, which attracted Phil Spector, who wanted to produce with her. They record River Deep, Mountain High, and open for the Rolling Stones. The Revue also found success with the song Proud Mary, which broadened their appeal overseas. They have another violent interaction during the recording of Nutbush City Limits, which leads to Tina overdosing on sleeping pills. A member of the Ikeettes introduces her to Buddhism, which gives Tina strength she uses in 1976 to escape Ike following a violent interaction in a white Yves Saint Laurent suit, I might add, en route to a hotel in Dallas. During court proceedings, Tina bears her claim to her name, which is the only thing she walked away from the 16-year marriage with. In 1980, Roger Davies agreed to manage her after years of performing on the cabaret circuit. She was to perform at the Ritz Theater when Ike confronted her in her dressing room with a gun. She tells him off and hits the stage to sing What's Love Got to Do with It? The end. While the movie was a great success, earning nearly 4 times its budget back at the box office and launching Angela Bassett to stardom, the real-life story of Ike and Tina is different enough to have warranted criticism from both Ike and Tina. Before I dive into the real story, let's dispel some of the falsehoods presented. Ike and Tina Turner did not begin an intimate relationship until 1960, not in 1958 as the film depicted. The film wholly omits the relationship she had with Raymond Hill, Ike's saxophonist, and the fact that Tina's first child was his, not Ike's. Ike Turner was not present when Tina gave birth to her first child. In fact, when Tina checked out of the hospital, Ike was performing with the Lady of the Night in her place. Lorraine did not drop off Ike's sons at his doorstep. He went to Los Angeles and got them himself after she threatened to leave them there. Nutbush City Limits was recorded at Ike and Tina's Bolick recording studio, not at home, thus invalidating everything that happened in that scene. The first song Tina Turner recorded was in 1958, entitled Box Top, not Make Me Over. That track, which on the soundtrack was titled Tina's Wish, was actually entitled Make Me Over and wasn't recorded until 1973, 15 whole years later. The Eat the Cake scene is based in truth, but happened in a car, not in a restaurant. Tina overdoses on prescription pills in 1968, not 1974. Tina's debut performance at the Ritz was in 1981, not 1983, as presented in the film. The film also failed to acknowledge any of Tina's solo material prior to Private Dancer. Now that we've gotten that out the way, let's discuss the real Ike and Tina. Ike Turner, born on November 5th, 1931, in Mississippi, had a troubled childhood and quit school in the 8th grade. Pursuing music, Turner eventually formed a group, the Kings of Rhythm, which had a #1 R&B hit with Rocket 88 in 1951, when Ike was just 20.
Straight, just one way. Everybody likes my Rocket 88. Baby, we'll ride in style, moving all along.
The song, which was credited to Jackie Brinson and his Delta Cats, is said to be the first rock and roll song. In just 3 years, he was in St. Louis performing in nightclubs and keeping a strict rein on his band. 2 years later, Ann Bullock, born November 26, 1939, to 2 parents she never felt truly wanted her, would impress Ike with her rendition of B.B. King's You Know I Love You, leading to an invitation to sing in his band, one she took. She recorded her first single, Box Top, credited as Little Ann, which was released the same year she gave birth to her first son, Craig Raymond Turner.
Take a chance, go and try. Now here's why. You're the passion boy.
2 years later, after Art Lassiter failed to show up for a recording session, Anna sang the demo for a track entitled Fool in Love.
Oh, there's something on my mind. Won't somebody please, please tell me what's wrong? You just a fool, you know you're in love. What you say? You got to face it to live in this world. You take the good, sometimes you're happy and sometimes you're sad.
Dave Dixon, a DJ, convinced Ike that the tape was worthy to be sent to Sue Records president Juggy Murray. Murray purchased the track and convinced Ike to make Ann the main attraction. Thus, Anna Mae Bullock became Tina Turner.
Who worried about Sheena?
Sheena, well, come in, sit down.
And a stage persona was built on the basis of Sheena, the Queen of the Jungle, and Nyoka, the Jungle Girl. In July 1960, her new name made its debut with A Fool in Love. The single made its debut on the pop charts in September of 1960, and in a little over a month, it made it to the top 30. It also managed to peak at number 2 on the Hot R&B Sides chart. A second single soon came out, entitled I Idolize You, which wasn't the crossover success that A Fool in Love was, while it peaked at number 5 on the R&B charts. An album soon followed, entitled The Soul of Ike and Tina. The next single, I'm Jealous, charted on the bubbling under Hot 100. Their fourth single, It's Gonna Work Out Fine, released in 1961, outperformed A Fool in Love, peaking at number 14 on the pop charts. The duo scored 2 more top 10 R&B hits with Poor Fool and Tra La La. A second album, Dynamite, came in 1962, and by this time, the duo was a rising commodity on the Chitlin circuit. For a time, the duo's singles failed to chart, and Ike Turner sued Sue Records for a failure to pay royalties, among other allegations. They released 2 final albums on Sue, Don't Play Me Cheap and It's Gonna Work Out Fine. Ike established his own record label, Sonya Records, which released music by The Review, Ike, and Tina, among other artists. Ike and Tina also signed with Warner Brothers Records and Kent Records, experiencing some success with singles such as A Fool for Love and I Can't Believe What You Say. They garnered their first charting LP with a live album released in 1965, and experienced further R&B chart success with Tell Her I'm Not Home and Goodbye So Long. The Review performed on various rock and roll shows such as Shindig,
He gets me in the dark and he says he's my man, but when we walk down the street, he never holds my hand. He said one day that he will marry me, but he tells his friends that that will never be. Can't believe what you say, wanna see what you do. I can't believe what you say, wanna see what you do. When we go to a dance, I have to go along. You're just a fool, you know you're in love. Sometimes you're sad. One more time. You know you love it. You can't tell me about it now. Why he treat you like he do when he's such a good man? He got me smiling, I should be ashamed. Got me laughing when my heart is in pain. Oh, now I must be a fool. 'Cause I'll do anything you want me to do. Now tell me how come you just a fool. You know you in love, and one more time you got to take it to live in this world.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen them live from coast to coast. Now you're about to see them all together for the very first time on national television.
Hollywood A Go-Go.
Go-Go presents the fantastic Ike and Tina Turner Review!
An American Bandstand, as well as Where the Action Is. By this time, Ike and Tina had relocated to Los Angeles. They'd re-signed with Kent Records and had a top 20 R&B single with Two Is a Couple. Famed producer Phil Spector witnessed their performance and invited them to participate in the big TNT show.
There's something on my mind. Yeah. Want somebody, please. I want somebody, please. Tell me what's wrong. What you say?
Phil Spector paid for a release from their label for complete creative control over sessions with Tina.
One more time. I need Earl, I need a bass drum hit there. Ba-bam, 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 hit.
5 tracks resulted. which were included on an album entitled River Deep, Mountain High, which spawned a single of the same name.
When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll, only doll I've ever owned. Now I love you just the way I love that rag doll, but only now my love has grown, and it gets stronger in every way, and it gets deeper. Let me
Although not successful in the States, River Deep, Mountain High, the single, was a top 5 UK hit, opening them up to an entirely new market as they toured with the Rolling Stones from September 23rd, 1966 to October 9th, 1967, which saw the group expanding to larger venues. But Ike and Tina's personal relationship was deteriorating, so much so that Tina intentionally overdosed on Valium before a show in 1968. After a move to Blue Thumb Records, they released 2 albums, Out of Season, which was anchored by the single I've Been Loving You Too Long.
I've been loving you too long. I don't want to stop now.
The Hunter, which spawned a top 40 R&B hit with its titular track. The former earned Tina a solo Grammy nomination for Best R&B Vocal Performance. The Revue began performing at rock festivals at this time, performing at the Seattle Pop Festival, the Newport Pop Festival, and the Gold Rush Music Festival.
Every now and then, I think that maybe you'd like to hear something nice and easy. Well, I'd like to do that for you, but we never ever do nothing nice and easy.
The early 70s were a period of rapid expansion for the Revue, as their cover of Creedence Clearwater Revival's Proud Mary became a pop hit and won them a Grammy. Working together, their second release on Liberty Records proved to be their most successful release. In 1971, they embarked on a tour in Europe, one that received good notices. A performance at the Olympia was recorded and released as Live in Paris. They performed in Ghana as a part of a celebration of Ghana's Independence Day, a performance included in the film Soul to Soul.
We never ever do nothing nice and easy. We always do it nice.
They opened for Johnny Mathis at the Caesars Palace, the first time in a main showroom in a hotel.
From Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Ike and Tina Turner perform their United Artists album. What you hear is what you get.
Do you like good music? Sweet soul music. Long as it's swinging. Yeah, yeah. Can on the floor, y'all. Oh, dancing to a go-go. Dancing to the music. Yeah, yeah. Spotlight is on me, y'all. I'm having a ball, y'all. Singing with soul, y'all. Yeah, yeah.
Another live album recorded at the Carnegie Hall was released, entitled What You Hear Is What You Get, a certified gold. In 1972, the Turner studio, Bolic Sound, was opened for the public. 1972 also saw the release of Feel Good, with 9 of the 10 tracks being written by Tina. Further chart success was had with Up and Yeah in 1972 and Early One Morning in 1973. Nutbush City Limits, which was written by Tina about her hometown, peaked at number 22 on the pop charts, finding even greater success in the UK and Austria, among other European nations. The single was so successful in Europe that they received the first ever Gold European Record Award for selling upwards of 1 million copies of Nutbush City Limits.
That 25 was speed limit. Gonna sign down down it. Go slow, ride easy. You go to church on Sunday. Not good. Oh, not good. Not good city limit. Not good city limit. Gonna be on weekdays. Have a picnic on Labor Day. You go to town on Saturday. You go to church on Sunday. Hey, not good. Oh, not good. Not good city limit. Oh, not good city. And there's no whiskey for sale.
In 1974, the duo released a gospel album, and Tina released her first album, Tina Turner Turns the Country On. Both releases received nominations at the Grammys, with Tina's being nominated for Best R&B Vocal Performance. The following year, Tina made her film debut in the British film Tommy as the Acid Queen.
Him right. I'll show him what he could be now. Just give me one night. I'm the gypsy, the acid queen. Hey, me before I'm gone. I'm the gypsy.
She also released an album entitled Acid Queen, and the album's lead single, Baby Get It On, unknowingly became Ike and Tina's last charting single together.
This is our latest single. It's titled Baby, 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 Get It On. Get it on.
Girl, how you blow my mind. I said, now, baby, won't you hear what I say? I want your loving in the worst kind of way, so come on. Baby, let's get it on. Now, you're the finest girl I ever
at the Waldorf Astoria and signed a deal for 9 television shows revolving around the revue, one which in a few months would cease to exist. Ike Turner, a man who once kicked people out of his band for suspected drug use, by July of 1976 was a full-blown drug addict with a hole in his nasal septum. On July 1st, after a flight from LA to Dallas en route to a hotel, Ike and Tina got into a physical altercation. After arriving to the hotel, Tina ran from Ike to the Ramada Inn across the freeway. Ike and Tina, just on the heels of signing a new record deal, was no more. On July 27th, Tina Turner officially filed for divorce. 2 more albums were released by the duo, Delilah's Power and Airwaves, compiled of previously recorded material. Tina Turner toured Australia in 1977, where she constantly snagged headlines for her provocative performances. By March of 1978, Ike and Tina's divorce was final, and 6 months later, her first album, Free from Ike, was released, entitled Rough. The album was positively received, but it failed to chart.
I liked it.
You talk a lot about Ike, and I feel that you're still fond of him, yet you and you are divorced, right?
We went through all kinds of heavy changes, but we're friends. And then we argue and fight again, and we're friends, you know. But it's just that we're going our own directions and trying to get everything settled.
How does it feel to be on your own, Tina?
It's like cleansing myself. I mean, you know, it's like saying to do everything you want to do. If someone were to ask you, what do you want in life? And you should really say, to do everything I want to do. Because once you do that, it comes from within. And cleansing means a freedom that you've never realized to be totally free. Do whatever you want to do. I mean, as far as like reading, or if you want to take a walk in the middle of the night, or anything, there's nothing that can stop you from doing or saying or being or whatever it is the person that you want to be. On stage is a little different because it's a little different period. Ike was the manager and the business head, and I was aware of things that went on, but I never made decisions. And so now they're all my decisions. I'm responsible for my business, for my musicians, and for the music on stage, and I have to care about the volume and concentrate on what the people want at this point. Fortunately, I'm able to get the singer and dancers that enjoy what they do, because then they enjoy it and they can go as long as I go.
Another album, Love Explosion, came in 1979. It failed to generate any success, and she parted ways with United Artists.
You've been on your own now for 3 years. Has it been very difficult to establish yourself as a solo artist? Have you almost had to start again in a way?
Exactly, starting again. That's exactly what it was like. 2 years of that. It was very difficult, but it's sort of finally coming together now.
You go out for cigarettes at 2 a.m. Sometimes you don't come back, leaving me wasted and wet.
She released another single in 1980 titled Are You Breaking My Heart?
Something special, know you got it in me. Well, now I need an explanation. See me, there's no communication. What you doing here, baby? If you wanna leave, are you breaking my heart? Are you breaking my heart? Are you breaking my heart? Are you breaking my heart?
The following year, she made her first appearance at the Ritz-Carlton and opened for the Rolling Stones in their America tour. Saw her teaming with BEF, a production company for a cover of The Temptations' Ball of Confusion. She signed with Capitol Records in 1983, and in November, a BEF-produced cover of Al Green's Let's Stay Together was released.
Since we've been together, ooh, loving you forever is all I need. Let me be the one you come running to. I'll never be untrue. Oh, baby, let's stay together.
The single was a sleeper hit, peaking at number 26 on the U.S. pop charts, number 3 on the R&B charts, and number 1 on the Hot Dance Club songs.
So in love with you, whatever you want to do is all right with me.
When we planned this tour, there was no single. I mean, there was no material, and I really didn't want to come without a song. And I had worked with Heaven 17 a year ago, and I did Ball of Confusion with the album they did, something of distinction or something. And we wanted to work together, but we just never got around to it. So my producer was working on another project in the States, and so we contacted Martin Ware to see if he could to help us out. And he took the time, actually. I was really grateful to do this single, you know. And how we came up with this one is, it says, well, I said, I want to do rock and roll. He says, well, I have nothing that I can do with rock and roll. He says, these are the tapes that I can offer of what I can do. And we both agreed on Let's Stay Together. And we both liked it, so that was it.
I'm almost sure that you must have been very much in love when you sang it. It must have been. Isn't that right?
Well, I think for the moment.
Thanks to the success of Let's Stay Together, a full album was approved, and she was granted 2 weeks and a budget of $150,000 to record it. The resulting project, entitled Private Dancer, was released on May 19th, 1983. That same month, the second single from the set, What's Love Got to Do With It, also a cover of a song by an English pop group, was released. That second single, What's Love Got to Do With It, will be Tina's first and only number 1 pop hit, cementing a transformation that began with her breakaway from Ike.
Only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that.
The next singles, Better Be Good to Me and Private Dancer, were both top 10 hits in the U.S.
Entangled in your web, hot whispers in the night. I'm captured by your spell. Oh yes, I'm touched by this show of emotion. Should I be fractured by your lack of devotion? Should I?
She also collaborated with David Bowie on a cover of Iggy Pop's Tonight. which was a top 60 single in both the States and the UK.
Everyone will be alright tonight. Everyone will be alright tonight. No one moves, no one talks, no one thinks, no one wants tonight.
All the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their name.
At the 27th Grammy Awards, Tina won 3 trophies, including one for Record of the Year. She embarked on a world tour with nights being filmed and released on video. She was also casted in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome as Auntie Entity, a role she would snag an NAACP Image Award for.
This is Thunderdome. Death is listening.
The hottest guys in rock and roll, the hottest. Mark Knopfler, Steve Winwood, Bryan Adams. They lined up to work with the Queen for this record.
By 1986, with the release of Break Every Rule, which sold a staggering 5 million copies in its first year of release, Tina Turner had fully carved out a place in the public conscious that towered over the one that she shared previously with Ike.
We forgot all about, I think, in terms of who we were in that sense, is that we were enjoying music and getting some work done. And then when I was approached with the question, I went, oh, I wonder how is that gonna look? Like, you know, all the stars are working for you. But it's the greatest band there is.
You said that the Beatles come together and the Stones' Honky Tonk Woman changed the way you looked at music. What specifically happened?
A lot of the R&B music was singing about depression, you know, the wives and the love, and I felt, I found that when I listened to the music, I would become depressed. But when I listened to the rock and roll music, rock and roll stories, those guys were writing about fun stuff and naughty stuff and things that sort of made you laugh or play around with. And I thought, yeah, that's what I want to sing. I don't want to sing about hurt and depression. And that drew my attention to, that balanced out all of the laughing and the dancing in my act, because I don't want to stand there and sing a blues and get sad.
Two people living on the edge of life.
Earlier that same year, she released the autobiography, I, Tina, which chronicled her life and career up until that point.
Out of dreams and time.
Tina, you could be described as a woman of many triumphs, a great survivor. Do you see yourself in that light?
Oh, I'm just me. I mean, I just do what I do, so it's really coming from the viewer more than sort of looking at what I'm doing or what I've done, because I'm still doing it. I think when you step outside and stop is when you can kind of see what you've done and still what you've accomplished. I'm aware of my accomplishments, but I think I'm not thinking so much of what I'm doing like the public is. I had a dream. I didn't let go of my dream, no matter the obstacles. There were things that I wanted, lifestyles, just for my dreams to be realized. And I never thought that it was impossible. I just didn't think it was impossible, because I knew that I had the talent, and I just knew that I had to get the right direction.
One thing I found really, really fascinating in the book is a significant contribution that Ike made. I was somewhat surprised that he was willing to be interviewed at such length and so candid.
Yes.
Were you surprised?
No, because I think, and I would really try to set the record straight in terms of Ike in a way. I think maybe in the earlier days when he was, I think, because I don't know, when he didn't do any press and all, it was very hard for him to make a decision on what he was going to do about his career as a solo. So I wasn't surprised that at that stage of his life, he had come to terms with what his life was, and I felt that he would feel the need to speak up for himself. Because with Kurt Loder being a writer, it wasn't just the word of Tina. It was his, because he was a very strong part of that, you know. So I was not surprised that he was interviewed. I was surprised that he was found, but not that he was interviewed.
How would you describe your association with him today?
I don't see Ike. It's too soon.
It became a bestseller. It would eventually be adapted into a screenplay, which, as stated earlier, features some of the truth and, well, some lies too.
Stone Pictures presents the movie critics have declared a vibrant, sensuous, rock till you drop knockout. What's love got to do with it?
What the film failed to do was provide context for Ike's harsh actions. We only get a hint at his sad childhood. We only get a whiff of the depths of his drug addiction. The man had a literal hole in his nose, for goodness sake. Although not a plausible excuse, not that there is any, for domestic disputes gone awry, it would have shed light on what was influencing his decision-making. The film also created a fictional character in place of a very real one. Jackie, who introduces Tina to Buddhism, is based on Robbie Montgomery. Tina Turner herself later admitted she was a huge support system for her before she left the review in 1964.
Robbie was a support for me in those dark days. Ooh, I might choke up here a little bit. Robbie was like a sister when she was an Ikeette. And times when I didn't have money, Robbie would always loan me money. But yeah, I had to give it back. But you know, I didn't have my own. And Robbie knew that I would, but she didn't know how because Ike didn't give me money. And when Robbie left, I missed her so much. Oh, I don't mean to cry, Robbie, but it just, you know, it comes out. Robbie and I were very close.
That's why I said I felt like we had left her.
Ike Turner, by the release of the film, was a shadow of the man he was with Tina. His Bolix sound studio perished in a fire in 1981. He dealt with a host of legal issues stemming from his drug addiction, and 2 years after his release from prison in 1991, following the release of the film, one which the only contribution he gave was showing Lawrence Fishburne his walk, attempted to salvage his reputation by giving his side of the story. But in doing so, he demonstrated why Tina mainly did the speaking.
Today, Ike Turner says he has heard enough. He's furious and speaking out to Phil Schumann in this extra exclusive.
All this is bullshit. I'm saying when I say bullshit, nobody made Tina stay there for 18 years.
Ike Turner is an angry man.
You know, my name has been drugged through the mud. I want to straighten this crap out about what I am.
The target of his rage? His ex-wife, Tina.
I just feel used, and I don't like it.
In the 60s and 70s, the Ike and Tina Turner review set the rock world on fire. But when they divorced in 1978, Tina claimed her life with Ike was a living hell. In her book, I, Tina, she brands him an abusive, drug-addicted womanizer. Ike says after that movie, he became public enemy #1.
It assassinated my career.
It portrayed you as a wife-beater, drug abuser.
Yeah, well, you know...
violent man.
Yeah, man, he got me everything that I'm not.
But you don't deny those things.
No, I don't deny, no. As I said, I did a lot of wrong things right, man. I did them real right, you know, but I can't undo them. All I can say is I'm sorry.
Is I'm sorry enough?
Tina Turner, by the release of the film, was an international superstar with an ever-eroding American citizenship.
Jumping, dancing, screaming, yelling. It's rock and roll.
Tina Turner. The full embodiment of hot, sexy rock and roll. A career that already spans 4 decades. Her star was rising back in the 60s. And she hasn't peaked yet.
When last I checked, you were 53. How old are you in your mind?
Sometimes. Sometimes. Let's see, how young do I get? say early 30s sometimes. On stage, I'm ageless. Age is not a priority or even a thought when I'm there.
Your vocal cords and your thighs are both made out of steel.
I'm built strong. I know that.
What's Love Got to Do With It has become a staple in the Black community due to home video releases and repeat airings on cable television. Yes, Angela Bassett and Lawrence Fishburne did amazing jobs portraying Ike and Tina, but their portrayals have an entire generation using memes and one-liners stripped from the darkest moments of a woman's life, all in the name of jokes. In conclusion, although the portrayals are strong and the story is somewhat based on fact, the liberties taken with the narrative, such as omitting the full breadth of Tina's solo career and Ike and Tina's impact as a whole, as well as contextualizing Ike's behavior, make the 1993 classic a deep stain on the legacy of Ike Turner and Anime Bullock.
Tina, the Tina Turner Musical.
There is, however, a show, Tina, the Tina Turner Musical, which tells the story that What's Love tried to tell, albeit in a less Ike and Tina-centric fashion. As for Ike, his contributions to popular music and black music are often celebrated, just to a lesser degree, which, considering he was infamous by the time he died in December 2007, makes sense, but at the expense of his legacy.